Hi, I'm Jim Wiseman. I'm a professor here in the math department at Agnes Scott. I've been here for 16 years now, which is hard to believe. So we offer a pretty wide range of math classes, everything from Math 101, which is really math for liberal arts. We do a lot of voting theory and how does math actually apply in the real world? How can you use it to make changes up through pre-calculus, up through multivariable calculus, up to graduate level courses. I think a big difference between math in college and math in high school is that we don't necessarily require it for everyone. We don't have just a sequence. It's this one, and then this one, and then this one. You get a lot more freedom to pick once you move on. And I think another big difference is often in high school, there's just a right answer. A math class is, here's this question, here's a right answer. And we're much more interested in figuring out what are the questions. So I think it varies a lot depending on the course. I mean, some of the intro courses tend to be more traditional lecture based because the way you really learn it is by doing it yourself anyway. So you would work in groups outside of class on the things that we cover. And then as you go on, the more advanced classes often tend to be much more discussion based. We're just trying to figure out together what is happening here. Why is this true? Or if it's not true, what can we do to make it true? Research, is more and more important these days. We really encourage our students to do it. One advantage of being in a small school is that you know the professors and you can talk to them about research opportunities. So certainly we have opportunities here, and lots of students work with us to do research here. We can also send people, especially in the summers, there are programs all over the country and all over the world where you can go out and do real original research, often get it published. And our students tend to be very well prepared for that. They're used to working in groups and knowing how to get these things running, and they're well prepared mathematically. Lots of students also do internships. That's a nice thing about being in Atlanta, because there are a lot of firms that use math in a lot of different ways. Certainly some students go into graduate school, and not necessarily in math. A lot will go on in economics or finance or data science, but also in people go on to law school or medical school. More and more people are doing public health these days. Then a lot of people also just go on to really almost any field that has any sort of technical background or logical background they'll go on to. So a lot of people do go into consulting, they'll go into some sort of data analysis role or programming role, and then that's often just the entry point for them because they have these other skills. And they don't just have the technical skills, they have leadership skills, so they can go on. They might start off entry level, but in a few years they've got people working for them. I think the big things for us, there's two ways. Just the way that we teach is different, right? We have small classes. We don't have huge lecture halls with a bunch of TAs, and we never even meet the students, right? We know what's going on. We know what's going on in the classroom. We know the students. So we're able to make sure people don't fall behind, get them the help that they needed if they're confused on something. And that can make a huge difference, right? Sometimes you just come talk to your professor for 5 minutes. It clears things up. I think in the terms of what we teach, again, it's not so much just here's the question, here's the right answer, here's how to solve it. Let's move on to the next question. Here's the right answer, here's how to solve it. We're much more interested in what are the questions that we should be answering. How do we take a question that we care about in the real world, interpret that as a math question, answer the math question, and then most importantly, interpret that answer back in the real world. What is this telling us? What are we going to use this for? And what are the consequences of that? So I think that aspect of it is much more liberal arts. It's not just here's a skill that you need to learn in order to do this particular thing for this particular job. It's how do you use math to address the world? Maybe my favorite would be my Calculus 1 class, my very first semester here. I just really did not know what to expect. And it just could not have gone better, right? There are people in there who just love math and were really excited about it. And that was great. And there are other people in there who maybe weren't so sure about it or needed it for something, but they just had this attitude of, I'm curious about this. This may not be my favorite thing. This may be the last math class I ever take, but I'm interested in the world and I want to figure this out. And just the class dynamic was great. I've had many classes like that since, but I think just the fact that it was the first one, I didn't know what to expect, was really great. It made me feel like I've come to the right place. We try to tell people we're not the biggest department on campus, but we are the friendliest, and I think probably we try to have the most fun. And that's mostly run by the students, right? We have a student math club, and they just have all kinds of activities. They're going orienteering this weekend, I think, which is only sort of related to math, but that's fine. We try to have a lot of snacks. That's important. Movie nights, math movie nights. We do have once a year part of Spark, which is the big campus-wide spring annual research conference where students present their own research. We have the Scotty Math Bowl, which is a game show involving math, which is even more fun than it sounds like. So, main thing to do, if you come here, first thing is get in touch with the math club. They'll get in touch with you. Join it, and the fun will follow. I think the main thing is just our size and our friendliness. So the main thing I would want you to know is even if you're not taking a math class your first semester, just come talk to us. We want to get to know you. We can talk to you about what math class would be appropriate for you, or maybe no math class. Just, we're here. We want to talk to you.